Hey everyone, Dumont Owen here. It's Wednesday. It's noon here in Cleveland, Ohio, and today I'm going to share something very special with you. If you don't know me or haven't been with me for a while, again, my name is Dumont. I know it's kind of a weird name, Owen, and I'm here in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a master personal and digital brand strategist and a LinkedIn expert helping coaches, consultants, and other professional service providers attract, engage, and land their ideal clients on LinkedIn. So this is your first time here, welcome. If not, then welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to do a little housekeeping here. If you are watching me on Facebook, there is a square above me, or there should be a square that says where you can click to allow StreamYard to access to allow to enable Facebook to display your name on StreamYard. That way, if you have a question that you want me to answer, I will know it's from you. There is a lag sometimes between the streaming and when I see comments and questions. But if you don't get your question answered during the broadcast, I'm going to give you my email link at the end, my LinkedIn link at the end, and you can certainly ask me then. I will also be checking back on this broadcast a few times just to make sure I answer any questions. So, and did you hear that whistle? I'm lisping today. But be that as it may, I'm still going to show you how to attract, engage, and sell your ideal clients using LinkedIn. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. Why is it not sharing? Let's try this again. Slides. There we go. Let me try this one more time. It is not cooperating. Slides. Okay. This is very strange. Let me remove that one and try this again. There we go. Okay. I use StreamYard for those of you who are thinking about live streaming. It's very easy to use. And one of the things I really like about it is that they've recently made it possible to upload your slides beforehand. So that you're not fooling around like I was. I thought I was being smart by adding the slides to the stream ahead of time. Apparently, that's not the case. So anyway, today we are talking about how to build your LinkedIn playbook. And by using a LinkedIn playbook, you can really, really save time. My clients who learn to use a playbook often start out at maybe 25 to 30 minutes until they get it really set up and get used to it. But I do it in 15 minutes a day, and my clients, start out at about 30, but they get down to 15 too. So it can be done. Okay. All right. So what are we talking about today? Well, first of all, why do we use LinkedIn for lead generation? Why is it the perfect place if you're a coach or consultant or professional service provider? I'm also going to show you a lead generator system that we're not going to go into a great deal of detail on. I just want you to understand where doing this, where generating leads falls in your system in your LinkedIn lead generating system, because you do need a system if you're going to save time and attract the right clients and get them off of LinkedIn so that you can have that sales conversation with them. I'm also going to show you or talk to you about 3 massive mistakes you can make in messaging. And then we're going to talk about messaging best practices, and finally, we're going to talk about the LinkedIn Daily Playbook. So let's get started. All right. Okay, so first of all, if yeah, I forgot to put this on. And the reason I wanted to mention the reason that I use slides, I know a lot of people don't like them, but if you are registered for one of my broadcasts, I turn those slides into a PDF and send that to you with the recording so that you can follow along and have that PDF too. So that's why I'm using slides. All right, so you're in the right place if you know that your niche is on LinkedIn, and you have a definite, and you've defined that niche. If you provide coaching or professional services or products that truly help people, this system is not going to work if you're a manufacturer or if you if you sell certain kinds of insurance. Not all insurance. There are a lot of insurance people that can use this system very well. If you offer, or if you want to offer, a business-to-business product or service with a ticket price of at least $1,000, because what I will tell you and what anyone would tell you who's talking about lead generation and sales using LinkedIn is that you don't sell products that are $1,000 or over online. People have to trust you in order to hand over their credit card for that much money. If it's a smaller amount, oftentimes you can, but not if you want to sell a high ticket item. And you're also in the right place if you're committed to your own success, taking action and growing your practice fast. And by that, I do not mean growing it overnight. I mean growing it at a reasonable pace where you can do the number one strategy that is going to land you more clients on LinkedIn, and that is building relationships based on mutual respect and trust. Okay, so why do we use LinkedIn for lead generation? Hey, this is the place to be if you're doing business to business. I mean, LinkedIn is absolutely, it's the only platform totally about business. So this is where to be. It's also, and this is amazing, but it's true, LinkedIn is 277% more effective for lead generation than either Twitter or Facebook. Either or, not both together, but either Twitter or Facebook. Also, 80% of B2B leads that come to that are online leads come from LinkedIn. 80%. That's 4 out of every 5 leads. You've got to be on LinkedIn. That's all there is to it. And LinkedIn drives 46% of social traffic to B2B sites. Now, that's considering all traffic, not just leads. And then finally, the average salary of a LinkedIn user is more than twice that of either Twitter or Facebook. Okay, so if you're in that B2B arena, you really need to be here. Okay. All right. I wanted to go real briefly over what I call the lucrative LinkedIn lead generator. This is a system that will help you create this tells you how to create the system that will lead to LinkedIn success. It's a 4-part system. And the first is strategy. In strategy, you're going to get really, really clear on your goals, your niche, meaning not just your target audience, not just small businesses, but your niche, that narrow, it's a much narrower place than just if I said I worked with small businesses, that's a really broad umbrella. So, I really work with coaches and consultants and service providers. So I've clarified that niche to the point where I know what to say to them and they know what to expect of me. We talk the same language. And finally, you need to get absolutely clear on your personal brand. And what is your personal brand? It's your unique promise of value. It's unique because you are the only person who is you. There is no one else in all those 800 million users, or over 800 million now, who is just like you. And that uniqueness is important. It's a promise because it's the thing you deliver all the time. You always deliver on your brand promise. If your brand promise is that you will, I can't think of the brand, that you will always deliver the best graphic designs, then that's what you do each and every time because that's your promise. And then your value is based on its relevance to your niche. You know, how, in order to be valuable, it has to be relevant to the problems that your niche experiences. Okay, now the second part is awareness. And that's where you are going to make other people aware that you are on LinkedIn. So that includes your profile, your content marketing strategy, calendar, and all of that. And then finally, automation. And we're not going into automation today, but I always want to reiterate, I am not talking about one of those systems that goes out and automatically invites 100 people, because that's what you're limited to now on LinkedIn every week. You can't build relationships with a whole bunch of people. So, you know, you want to use automation in terms of maybe posting articles or that kind of thing. You know, automation that makes all of those processes easier. Okay. Okay. Next is relationship building. I can see that it's not going to show. Oh, yes, it does. It shows it to the side. This is where we're working today. We are working in relationship building because that's how you generate leads. So we are talking about prospecting. That means finding those exact clients that you want, connecting with them, and then nurturing them, building a relationship, once again, built on mutual trust and respect. Or mutual respect and trust, that will build that relationship enough that they will want to buy your products. They'll feel comfortable buying your products. And then the final stage is sales and more. And there we talk about the sales conversation, how to analyze the metrics that would track how well you're doing, and also how to support your clients so well that they just broadcast your name from the rooftops. You are the only person they recommend, and they recommend you to everyone they know. So one thing I'd like to point out about this stage is that if you have laid the first three stages out well and you have performed them well, that sales conversation becomes so easy because they already know who you are. They've already looked at some of your content, and they've developed a relationship with you. So that sales conversation is a lot easier. And the analysis part, remember in the first part where you set your goals, that's also where you pick out the metrics that you are going to watch on LinkedIn that will tell you how well you're doing with meeting your goals. So that's the entire system. Today we are focusing right here on relationship building. All right, so what is the key to lead generations? Yes, I know, I'm a blabbermouth. I just told you. It's building relationships based on mutual trust and respect, or mutual respect and trust. Okay, so there are some messaging mistakes that I know you've seen them. You may even have done them, but I know you've experienced them. The first is sending generic invitations. Now, LinkedIn makes it extremely easy to send invitations. When you go on LinkedIn on your page, it's going to recommend people. You know, you can go to your message, or not to your messages, but you can go to your page. When you go on your page, it's going to recommend people that you can connect with. You can connect with, excuse me, at a lot of different places on LinkedIn, but don't do it. The only place you want to connect, seriously, the only place that you are going to connect with people on LinkedIn, the only place you're going to send them an invitation or any kind of message is from their profile. Because when you send an invitation to connect from someone's profile, you have the option to put in a 300 character message That's 300 characters, including white spaces. So this is a really brief message, but it's personal, so people relate to it better. And it's so much better than receiving something that says, I'd like to add you to my LinkedIn network. How yucky, right? Doesn't say anything special. Instead, if it says, I saw your profile here, I really appreciate this, would love to connect and have a conversation or something like that, something that's personal. Okay, another mistake, and this is my biggest peeve, is sending what I call a premature sales pitch. Now, a premature sales pitch is the message you get after you connect with someone. I know you've had this happen. They send you this real nice invitation to connect. Hi, I saw your profile. I thought it looked like, and I really liked this and I wanted to connect with you. And as you're writing back with your welcome message, you suddenly get a message from them like an instant later. That's this heavy duty sales pitch. That is too soon. You haven't built the relationship yet. So when you follow this system that I'm going to show you, you can send messages that will build that relationship, and it's going to take you very little time. Okay, and then finally, the last massive messaging mistake, is not sending a message to take them off of LinkedIn and into that sales conversation with you. And once you've built a relationship that's built on mutual respect and they trust you, they're going to be very happy to talk with you. So those are the three massive messaging mistakes that I really want you to avoid. Okay, do we have a deal? Okay. All right. So here are what I consider messaging gold. Number one, I want you to create a messaging sequence, and I'm going to show you how to do that and what goes into it. So pay attention to the next part, because I'm going to actually show you what to do every day to build those relationships. Always personalize. If you personalize your messages, I saw a stat recently and it was really high, but I can't bring it to mind right now. But it was huge, the difference that you get in your response rate to messages when you personalize them. When you get a message, don't you want to know that they were actually thinking about you? And how can you always make sure it's personalized? By sending it from their profile, because you are on their profile. You can mention something, like, hey, maybe in my case, maybe you went to the University of Florida or Florida State. And I can say, hey, I see you went to U of F, go Gators. It's a personalized message. Okay, you're also going to provide value. And I just mentioned that the way that you provide value is by providing information that is relevant to the problems and challenges faced by your niche, by the people that you're trying to connect with and to build a relationship with. If it's not relevant to what they're dealing with, they're going to ignore it. And more than that, they may consider it spam. And we don't want to be considered spammers. That's a terrible image. What do you think of when you think of spam? So you don't want to do that. And finally, you're going to include a clear call to action. CTA stands for call to action. And we're going to look at that in a minute. Okay, let's go. All right, here are some calls to action. And I want to mention to you right now that when you're building your LinkedIn profile, you can put call to actions there. You can have one call to action in your about section. You can have another one in one of your experience sections. You might even have one in your cover video. So a call to action is something that's relevant, right? And it tells them what to do next, because research shows that if you tell people what to do, they will do it. But research also shows that if you give them a choice, if you give them more than one thing to do, they won't do either. So you want to present one call to action. every time you post something or every time you send a message. So that can be it can be an open-ended question. Hi, glad so happy that you connected or you accepted my invitation. I love to introduce my connections to one another. Can you tell me who a great new client would be for you or what that would look like so I can keep an eye out for people that I might know that I could introduce to you? Or it can be to download a free gift. Hey, so and so, this has been a lot of my clients have found this really helpful. If you like it, then you can opt in here. Now, what I tell people is to send them that option. Okay. Would you like a copy? So in reality, I would not send them that opt-in link right away. I would give them a choice, because if you send that opt-in link to them and it's something they don't want, what is it? Spam. So get their permission. So when I write to someone, I say, a lot of coaches have found my LinkedIn profile checklist really helpful. Would you like a copy? And then I wait for them to respond. That way, I've received their permission to send them not only that copy, but permission to send more content to them. You could tell them to schedule a free consultation with you, or subscribe to your newsletter, or join. Maybe you have a LinkedIn group you'd like them to join, or to register for an event. So any of these are great calls to action. Okay. Now, in order to be able to connect, engage, and build relationships with people in 15 minutes a day, what you're going to want to do first is create a messaging sequence. And what do I mean by that? I mean, create an invitation, or what I would say to you is to create a number of invitations. And you know what? I didn't think about this before now, but I'm going to be sending you a metrics tracker at the end of this so that you can track your metrics. I'm also going to send you a list I have of invitation templates that you can use to customize. And what I would do is customize them. Make sure you do that so that it fits your target audience and that it sounds more like you. You're also going to want a welcome message, and one that doesn't have a sales pitch, right? So that welcome message would be that next message when they've connected, when they've accepted your invitation. So that can be, hey, thanks so much for accepting my invitation. And that's where you can tell them, I love to make referrals, or I love to introduce my connections. Can you tell me who a great referral would be to you? Or it can be, coaches and consultants have found my checklist really helpful. Would you like a copy? So it's always getting permission to do something. It is not hitting them with a sales pitch. It is way too early to hit them with a sales pitch. You don't have a relationship with them yet. And then you're going to send two more messages, at least two more messages that provide value. And what can provide value? Oh, so many different things. I have clients who go out, once every couple of weeks, and they find a video that would be really, really helpful for their clients, or they make their own video and or to their niche, or they make their own video and distribute it. Hey, I thought you might want to see this 1-minute video I created that gives you blank, blank, and blank. Okay. Or it might be, I thought you might like this worksheet that I just created. You can download it here. Something that provides additional value. And then your final message, and this is a matter of PowerPoint, not sometimes having an extra space in there, but you finally want to take them offline. And that's an invitation to have a sales conversation. You're not going to call it a sales conversation, but it's an invitation to, you might call it a consultation. You might call it, a strategy session. Whatever it is, you're going to present it that way. And you're going to invite them. You're not going to just send them a link. You're going to invite them to do that. Okay. So Here's what goes into a daily LinkedIn playbook. And by a playbook, I mean, what I tell my clients is to have a file. Okay. And in that file, they are going to have these things. Now, I keep my file right on my desktop. And I advise my clients to do that too, because it's right there. Then you can do it just like that. So in that file, you want a metrics tracker. And when I send out the recording, I am also going to send out a link to a metrics tracker that you can use. Now, your metrics tracker tells you how well you are doing on certain factors, on certain things that you have set up as goals. And when you set your goals in that very first stage of your LinkedIn lead generation system, you're also going to select the metrics that will tell you whether you're on track. And then you just update that metrics tracker once a month to make sure that you're continuing in the right order with the right metrics. You're also going to want templates for your invitations, your welcome messages, and your nurturing messages. So that is those messages that I just showed you. So you're going to have a template for invitations, a couple of templates for welcome messages, different ones that you could use with different people. And then you're going to have several messages that are going to include, like maybe a link to a video that you've done, or a worksheet, or, something that you think might be of value to them. Remember, it's only valuable if it's relevant to the problems and challenges they face on a daily basis. And then finally, you're going to have the message that invites them to take it offline. So in your LinkedIn playbook, you're going to have your goals and metrics tracker. You're going to have your templates, and you're going to keep them, all these things in your file, so that when you're getting ready to invite people, you can just pull up your invitations. You'll have a list in there of your invitation. Click on, select the right one, put it into their profile with that invitation message. That's what's going to go in there. And then you're going to send that off. You're going to have your welcome messages in there, and you're going to have 3 or 4 different ones that will work, and you're going to customize those as you keep going through. You're going to find that over time, you're going to recognize the ones that work well and the ones that don't. And then you're going to have some follow-up messages, ones that provide more value. And then finally, you're going to have some of your lead magnets. Now, I have a couple. I have a personal branding kit. I have a LinkedIn profile checklist. I have a couple of videos that I send to people. So you want to have at least one lead magnet. And your lead magnet is that free gift that people are willing to opt in for and exchange their email to get. It could be your newsletter. Maybe you have just a great newsletter, or maybe you have a guide to something. Whatever it is, have those in that desktop file so you can put in that link. Now, what I would suggest to you with lead magnets is that you post them either on your Google Drive or someplace on the net so that you can post a link, because that's going to make it much faster if you can just give them the link so that they can opt in. But if it's a worksheet or a guide of some kind, you can use it. You can send it right away. But by attaching it and sending it rather than giving them an opt-in link, you're missing that chance to get their email and get them on your list for your newsletter. And remember, we don't own our list on LinkedIn. If we're naughty on LinkedIn and we end up in LinkedIn jail, that goes away. So be nice on LinkedIn and don't end up in LinkedIn jail. Then you're going to have links. You'll have another sheet that will have links to relevant articles, videos, etc. I don't know what that S is on the end, but etc. So you will have a list. And again, I would have a list that has links to those. And then finally, you can have a spreadsheet. If you don't have Sales Navigator, then you might want to have a spreadsheet where you can just paste names and what stage they're in, whether they had an invitation, whether they've had, 1 email, 2 emails, 3 emails. It's a lot more time consuming, but LinkedIn has taken away the tag system that it used to have. You used to be able to tag each person with where they fell in the system. You can't do that anymore. You can only do it with one of the premium subscriptions. But if you have a VA, a virtual assistant, they can do it with you. Or if you have a teenager or a preteen who's home this summer, hey, that sounds like a good opportunity for them to earn their allowance, right? So you can use a number of different strategies. Just make sure you keep that list up to date. Okay. And you can add it, you can have it if you have your newsletter in something. I have mine in Kajabi. There are a lot of different places to post your newsletter. Then you can have it in there and you can give them the link, the opt-in to that. And once you have them on your newsletter, then you can tag them with all those things. Okay, so let's talk about the LinkedIn Daily Playbook. I'm going to show you here just what's involved. It's 3 steps. And what I want you to remember is that you are going to do the first one first, and then the second one, and then the third one. And for some reason, this is kind of mashing up here. But the first thing you're going to do is manage your messages. Okay, and your messages include those that we've already talked about: your invitation to connect, your welcome message, your value messages, and your invitation to have a conversation. Hey, thank you. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Anurang? And if you can show me how to pronounce your name, I would love that. But if not, please connect with me on LinkedIn and tell me you were on the webinar. Go to my profile and tell me you were on my webinar. You'll make me so happy. Anyway, so the first part, you're going to manage your messages, because that is going to have the greatest impact on connecting and building relationships. So you are going to, number one, and it doesn't say it here, but this is what you're going to do. You're going to send your invitations, and then you're going to follow up with people who have responded to. Oh no, here it is. Oh yeah, you're going to respond to invitations that other people send you, and then you're going to follow up on acceptances people send you to people that have sent you an invitation. And the key concept here is that every message you send is an opportunity to provide value and to build that relationship. So in this stage, you're going to do 3 things, and I'm going to have to update this so that it shows 3 things. 1, you're going to send invitations. 2, you're going to follow up on invitations. And 3, you're going to follow up on other people's invitations. So all 3 of those things. The next stage is to leverage your posts and articles, because this is another way. Oh, great. I'm pronouncing it correct. Thank you. And then the next step is to really leverage those posts and articles you're sending out. That content is so important, because that is how people get to know your value. When they get to know your content, or when you like or share or comment on other people's articles and posts, you are developing that relationship. You know, a lot of people think that the only way to engage people, the only way to build those relationships is about sending out your own content. Well, that is one great way to do it. And LinkedIn has placed a new emphasis on creating content these days with their creator mode. But what if you don't like content creation, right? What if that's just not your jam? Well, there's another way to build engagement. You can like, comment, and share other people's comments. And when you go through LinkedIn, you can go to in your LinkedIn newsfeed, you know, that place that you see right in the center column when you first come on. If you like some content that's been posted in there, you can click those 3 dots, and it will allow you to follow, and you can improve your network by following that kind of content. So it's really, really important. But when you are liking, commenting, and that helps you bring more people up who are in your niche, and you see more of that in that content. Because what will build a relationship is if you like, comment, or share another person's content, a person that you're interested in, somebody who is, either one of your connections, or is producing the same kind of content you do. Share it, comment on it, like it. I know a lot of people are hesitant to share content from another person who's in their same specialty. Go ahead and share it, because what that shows your followers is that you're always in the know. You always have the latest stuff that's coming out. So you're doing a few things with that. You are, number one, making that person whose content you liked, comment, or shared, you're doing them a favor, because you are expanding their reach. Because every time you do that, that expands their network by showing that content to the people in your network. It's doing you a favor, because it is positioning you as a person who is always in the know and always generous by sharing other people's content too. And then finally, it's a sign of generosity to your potential clients, to your niche, because you are providing them with relevant information and you're expressing your generosity. And for me, the number one strategy for LinkedIn success is generosity. The more you give away, the more you receive on LinkedIn. So remember, that old saying, it's better to give than receive. On LinkedIn, that is absolutely golden advice. Okay. 3. In 3, you're going to respond to celebrations. Now, those are those notices you get in your notification area, and they will be happy birthday, so-and-so's celebrating a work anniversary, and there are a couple of others in there that are not coming to mind right now. But here's what I want you to remember about those. You are connected to a lot of people, and there are going to be people in your network that you're not really actively engaging anymore. Maybe you started out like I did. I've been on LinkedIn since, I don't know, I've been on LinkedIn for a long time, at least 12 years, 10 to 12, yeah, at least 12 years. And so there are people in my network that related to me back when I was first starting out, but my niche has shifted and my specialties have shifted. So there may be people in my network that I'm not actually engaging with. So what I would tell you is to focus on the people that you really want to build a relationship. You don't need to send happy birthday to everyone. For one thing, just how meaningful is it when somebody clicks that happy birthday message? It's not meaningful at all, right? So what you want to do is, in your LinkedIn playbook, have a few messages. I have one for happy birthdays. I have one for work anniversaries, and I change them each year. Like mine for right now, for happy birthday this year is, happy birthday, so-and-so. I hope this is your best year yet. I used to, the first time I did it, I said your best year ever. And then I realized, well, if this is your best year ever, I'm telling you that nothing's going to get better after here. So I personalize it. That's what you want to do. You don't have to send a happy birthday message to everyone in your network. Send it to the people that you are really trying to develop relationships with, your ideal clients. Okay, so here are the 3 things that you're going to want to do with your LinkedIn playbook. And remember, tomorrow I'm going to send you the PDFs so that you can download them, and you'll have access to the recordings there forever. And, and I'm also going to send you the metrics tracker and some templates for invitations so that you can send out personal invitation messages. So in your LinkedIn playbook, you're going to want to, one, manage your messages every day. And then you're going to leverage your posts and articles. And finally, you're going to send congratulation messages. And that's it. And you can easily do that in 15 minutes a day if you've set it up in one file. Are you seeing how this could make sense, how you could do this? Oh, and one last thing I'm going to attach for you, just in case you can't see. I'm going to send you a form that you can use that will have everything that you want in your LinkedIn playbook. Okay, so you're going to have it right there. You can put it all in your playbook, and you can build it from that point. Okay, now here are some links that I'm going to offer you, and it looks like they're not showing up too well. I have bolded all of them, but when you upload them on StreamYard, sometimes they don't look like that, but you're going to get these tomorrow. So if you want to take a screenshot, fine, but you don't have to. You're going to receive these. So if you want my essential LinkedIn profile checklist, that takes you through everything you need to have to build a really fabulous client attracting LinkedIn profile. Next, you're also going to get an opt-in for my goals and metrics tracker so that you can download that right from the information that I send you out. You can connect, you can invite me to connect on LinkedIn. And if you're watching this, please tell me that you are watching it. You'll make me extremely happy. And I will immediately accept. And then finally, you can email me. There's my email, dumont@dumontowen.com. Not hard to remember. And I promise that I will respond. So I'm here every week on Wednesday. Very soon, I am going to be starting something new. I am going to be interviewing people that have specialties that I think you might be interested in. Maybe it's someone who does video. I've got someone lined up who can show you how to build, how to create, how to write, and write and publish your book in 5 weeks. Okay, how cool is that? In 5 weeks. So you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to be sending this to you. It's also going to be live on LinkedIn, but feel free to follow up with me if you have contacts. If you have questions after this, I'll be more than happy to respond. So this is Dumont Owen on, what is it? Oh, June 1st. All right, June 1st, 2022. And for now, I'm saying ta-ta for now.